Program Director Dr. Joan, honorable guests and speakers, both from South Africa as well as abroad, members of the South African Geographic Names Council, the provincial geographic names committees here in Gauteng as well as elsewhere, officials from all spheres of government, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Department of Arts and Culture, as well as the heritage sector as a whole, I would like to welcome you to this national workshop on geographic names. I think it is important to acknowledge Baba Matera. We're very pleased you could join us, sir. And welcome to a very brisk Johannesburg. As you can see, we ordered the weather. Earlier on, I was talking to a colleague. We had a consultative conference in April this year in Newtown, and it rained during the consultative conference. And we are having this particular workshop and it is raining. Now, I am told that in African culture, when it rains, that means blessings. So I want to believe that our gathering here today is a blessed one. More than a year ago, Cabinet gave an instruction that the Department of Arts and Culture, through the South African Geographic Names Council, should conduct public hearings on geographic names in order to consult the nation on the emotive issue of the standardization and the changing of geographic names. This is a process that has spanned over a year. We have had opportunities to talk to municipalities. We have had opportunities to talk to provincial departments. We have had opportunities to talk to traditional authorities. We have had opportunities to talk to citizens, just private citizens. We have had an opportunity to talk to basically anyone who was willing to talk to us about what is a potentially uniting process, but also what is an emotive process. Initially, we had wanted today to be a summit, and I'm sure many of you would have received our earlier invitations towards a summit on geographic names, which was really going to be the end of our national consultative process or our national dialogue on geographic names. However, we have had to postpone the summit and had to change this into a workshop through which we are going to refine some of the processes as well as get learnings from elsewhere in the continent and elsewhere in the world about a matter which they are going through, which is similar to what we are going through. The format of the workshop will be more of an information sharing exercise. During this session, we hope to learn both from international experience in the area of name standardization. We are also going to hear from speakers who will touch on the South African experience in areas like naming and mapping, naming and identity, cross-border names, and we will also share information on the actual process of name standardization. As you will hear from international guests, the process of name standardization is not new in South Africa, neither is it unique for South Africa as a country. As government, we do acknowledge that the issue of naming and renaming of places is an emotive one that is linked with one's language, one's culture, and one's heritage. The inhuman practices and atrocities perpetrated against indigenous populations by colonial powers in every part of the world are a matter of historical record. Geographic features, places, and human settlements in South Africa did have names prior to the arrival of the first European settlers during the Portuguese and Dutch era. Many conceivably had even older names, either lost in the midst of time or replaced by names which were imposed by the earlier settlers. South Africa has its own peculiar circumstances that make the process we are embarking on even more important. We have a unique situation in that we have 11 official languages. That in itself brings the possibility that one place can have 11 names. You have Cape Town, which is also called Kaapstad, which is also called Xaba. These are toponyms for the same place. Although maps and other official documents might use the name King Williamstown for King Williamstown, local people have always known the place as Ekhine. Durban, yes. Durban has always been known by the local people as eThekwini, and I'm sure this is also the case with villages, towns and cities around the rest of the country. Like Johannesburg is known as Egoli or Gauteng. I am sure that the process that we are embarking on today and tomorrow will be characterized by lively debates, and I know that we might not agree on everything necessarily. However, we need to make sure that every phase of these public hearings, all South Africans feel that their views and their opinions have been heard. It's also important that we contextualize what we are doing as part of our social cohesion drive. Part of the responsibilities of the Department of Arts and Culture is to drive the agenda of social cohesion and nation building in the country. Name changes should not be a divisive matter. Name change is an opportunity to revisit history in certain circumstances. It is an opportunity for us to create a new future, a future in which we can all agree, not necessarily on all things, but a future in which we can embrace commonality.